Well, one of the things that happens, and now we're moving the camera back, talking about big picture stuff, is good access. Now, I don't know how expensive road building is in here, but let me just throw this to you. For $15,000, we got 3 miles of all-weather road.
All-weather road, gravel, and the pea gravel underneath.
Well, not gravel, but graded. And once you create your access spots, that's then where you lay your water line.
What is the potential? I mean, as far as if you take a normal grazing pattern that most farmers would use versus the daily movements, I mean, how many factors can you get twice?
We're getting 5 times.
You're kidding.
Our county average is 80 cow days per acre, and we're getting 400. We average 400.
That's but they only come back every
That's a little over
60,
1
90
cow
days
per
or
acre.
once a year on your cattle?
They come back on our place 3 times a season. Three times. That's 3. That's, in other words, they're only on one spot
3 times.
one day, and then again 1 day, and then again 1 day. And that's it.
How much can you get out of an acre, Lauren?
I don't know.
I mean, you do kind of a semi-rotational.
Yeah, I have about 200 pairs on 440 acres, and I don't feed them hardly anything. And so I figured I'd do it by I figure 1 cow for every less than 5 acres per pair, but sometimes it's as low as 2 acres per pair per year.
And you don't feed them hardly anything?
Mm-mm.
That's pretty darn good. Because here, most people talk in terms of 10 to 20 acres per animal.
Oh,
per animal equivalent.
Well, where we are, the rule of thumb is 4 acres per cow equivalent. That's the rule of thumb.
Real similar.
4 acres per cow equivalent, and at 400 cow days, you're down to less than an acre.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the potential, and I don't even think we've scratched the surface. I really don't. I mean, I just think it's so much beyond what you can imagine.
That's
so
the difference is
better
making
every year.
200 acres look like it's 1,000.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
and you don't have to drive as far.
Yeah.
The biggest factor then for you and success is the amount of time per acre. It's not how low you graze it per acre. Like the big thing, like for us out here, is trying to do the dance with the grass to be able to move them before they cause damage, but still have enough grass. You with me? You understand what my question is? How do you determine when you're going to move them there, back in your polyface?
You mean when they've been? Well, we move them every day.
But how do you determine how big of a piece they go into?
How much we want to take it? Right. How much we want to utilize?
How much residual dry matter you want to leave?
Yeah. Well, generally, if there's something standing up when they leave, it hasn't been grazed correctly.
Okay.
We want it to look like a herd of 2 million buffalo would make it look when they went over it.
Oh, so you want it all the way down?
Man, we'd knock her down. And you know what? That violates I've heard all this about residual. I've heard, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, it's a bunch of hooey.
But then when do you go back to it? If it's knocked all the way down, you go back to it when it's 10 inches or
when it's 30 inches.
Okay, so that's how you're getting your perennials. It might be 90 days before you go back to it.
Oh, yeah. In fact, the rental farms, we've gone to a 2-time-a-year rotation.
Yeah, but when you do it...
And boy, when you do that, you start seeing locust trees encroaching for shade. You get all this tremendous diversity.
And it stays greener longer.
Stays greener way longer.
And you actually get more time out of your land, too, moving them around. You can see what I'm going
let's talk and walk.
Okay.
I wanted to just walk by the pond and see if you had any.
I've never done cows, anything like that. But the basic concept. Yeah, the basic concept.
Now the ideal though would be to have even with lane in the back of the tractor.
Wouldn't some of that be good building material for stuff? As far as making benches and fun stuff like
something
that.
Special. It should be reused.
Those high critical important projects like making benches.
Yeah. Well, picnic is one of
for all the leisure time when you sit around watching the
Yeah, it's so funny. This is about
how much you put in. And he said that the factor on the slope factor on the barrel is about
tap into the. Actually, just keep away from this group right over here. Let them kind of do their own thing because they will go.
the trees during the summer, so then
I'd probably
actually
bring the
you get some
chickens
shade.
back
So we don't have to worry
here.
about shade right now
Right.
or
Oh,
anything like that.
no,
They like to lay out.
That's right.
But like during the summer when I try to bring them back up through here, they're definitely going to need some shade to go under, you know.
Let me encourage you to go with a full flow valve on that water trough from Neville Supply in Michigan. It's the simplest, most trouble-free, and it's a full flow. That one there, the most at full bore, full pressure, full bore, it'll only let out 300 gallons an hour. A full flow, when it turns on, it's
From
full
Neville?
hose. Neville Supply in Michigan. All the stuff we buy is on our website, listed in the resource section.
Look.
Oh,
and
good.
and Neville Supply in Michigan has a full flow, and that way you get away from the valve up on top that they can touch or rub or push or nose, and the valve is down at the bottom with just a ball that floats in there that they can't mess around with. And the thing is, when it opens, it comes in full
force.
full force.
All right.
And so that's how we can run a herd of 500 head in July with just four 100-gallon tanks on a hay wagon chassis with that many head.
Because the cow's going to go. I mean, this many cows is what we were doing the math. How much water per day?
Oh yeah, they're not
1,200
much.
gallons. Not now.
How much a day per head?
Oh,
Depends
a
on the cow.
lactating cow, 10, 12 gallons on a hot day.
Okay, so
Lactating.
3,000,
None of these are lactating, really.
Yet.
10, 12 gallons.
In
I'd
about
say
a month. We
10
got
is a
5
good
pregnant
planning number.
girls in there right
So
now.
take 10, and if we're planning on capping it like 40, 50 head on this property,
That's another question, I
500
mean, does
gallons
50?
a day.
I mean, of course you don't know the grass and everything
What's
that's
wrong?
going on here. We can put a lot more cows on here, couldn't we?
Not even scratching the surface.
Right? I mean,
Yeah,
like the
I like
potential-
Bring
Once you
on the cows,
once you
Warren.
kick this thing in.
Once we get the grass going, doing what it's supposed to be doing, you think you're like thinking like
Oh,
150 or something?
I would think you could have how many acres?
238.
238.
That's all in.
Does that include that over there?
Oh yeah, it's all in.
Yeah.
And the steep hillside
yeah.
you told us to leave.
Yeah, I would certainly think that you could go to certainly close to 100 if you
Right.
don't want to make any hay and you want to stockpile and just know a hayless system. A hayless system, you're gonna probably not be quite as efficient as you would a hay system, but you're not gonna have the expensive hay.
But the hay is only going to be for during the dry time, correct?
That's right. That's right. But what I'm saying is, in order to stockpile enough forage ahead of yourself to be hayless, you have to compromise some productivity. Because by making some hay, you can restart the growth and eke a little more productivity out of it by being able to touch that acreage quickly at an opportune time to
With
get
a
a
mower.
second growth back.
With a mower
Get a
as
second
opposed to
growth back.
cattle.
But if you're going to leave that on the stalk, it's going to go into senescence and dormancy, and you're not going to restart that cycle. The advantage is you're not using any petroleum and you're not making any hay.
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off. Obviously, we want to go to as hayless as possible.
But to get the land started, you might need to do a hay system.
This is where you
just
mow
to keep
and
that
do the
grass
windrows,
going and
right?
starting to get our systems moving in here.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
like to do that. It costs a lot of money to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
I do windrow, 300 or 400 acres when the grass is this tall, because what happens is we get, I don't know about it here, but we get a lot of fog, and the value of the grass just goes to nothing.
Yeah, you got high humidity.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then after we get the first 1 or 2 inches of rain, if it's just standing, then just the value of the grass is nothing compared to what it was in June.
Right.
So if it's windrowed, you at least retain some of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you don't have to bale it and put
And,
it in a barn.
it's very possible that your productivity per acre potential is higher than here, simply because of your humidity. You don't have the. I mean, our annual rainfall is 31 inches a year,
Ours
and
is about the same, I think, isn't it?
yeah, I expect you're close, but now we're not Mediterranean.
Yeah, we're
So-
not spread over as many months.
It comes between.
get
us.
ours
You're,
over
you're
like
a little
4 or
more
5
lumped.
months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a little more lumped, which creates it's a different. It's not better or worse. It's just
it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's different. And I mean, I can tell you that your soils here, just from a structural standpoint, look better than the soils I'm working with. I mean, I'm red clay subsoil. You've got black. I mean, this stuff down here is like gold. You don't see anything like that where we are.
So
But do you have enough? Yeah, do you have enough supervision out there?
Along this box, that's much more drier than what this is right now. So it's one of those, you put it in they literally take them all out, put them in the back of the truck, pick these up, move them to the space where it's going to be reasonable grass.
Just say we didn't think of it. Starting at the top.
And then,
Right, Sal?
Right. Right.
whatever. Yeah, because it's
Always start them
everywhere.
at the top. Always start them
them
at the top.
If you have a hill, you'd rather start at the top
Yes,
and come down.
yes, we always
make work easy?
on our rental properties,
Why make work easy?
all the broiler shelters, everything. We put them on the wagons. We take them to the top of the hill, and I mean,
Well, you know, part of it is we don't have anything that's easy to move these on. We've been moving them on the back of a pickup truck and then hanging them precariously.
Oh, yeah.
And so we really don't have any way other than
We
pumping
see
them up.
like a flat
to get 'em
trailer,
up there.
you know? You can get a trailer to pull them up and everything, but like,
Hay wagons aren't expensive.
Can you get a hay
Can't you?
Sure. Don't you have a tractor?
tractor with
No,
four-wheel
it's
drive,
one
it doesn't
person
work.
on each side.
Oh, it
and
doesn't
there's
work?
a little rope.
It will though.
Wagons don't get out there.
But it will
No,
work.
you don't.
Okay.
So we need a hay wagon.
That's fine. You just walk slow.
Hay wagon, you put a couple of little board extensions on the back with drywall screws.
Yeah,
You put two of them on. Shoot, these you could even stack four of them. They're so light you could put four of them at a time.
They're so light, but see what ends up happening, you keep PVC in the sun for long enough. You know,
Oh yeah, oh I know. That's why we don't. That's why we don't build anything out
But
of
like,
these.
what do you, now,
So this is one of those situations where, see, we're doing it like Salatin, but you're not doing it like Salatin. See, so you know.
So don't blame you on
No, don't blame me on it. Don't blame me on it.
so what do you actually build yours out of? What do you-
We build ours out of cast off, pressure treated 1x6s that we rip on a table saw. Now the bandsaw mill, but we rip on a table saw into the nice ones into halves for the long pieces, and the knotty pieces and kind of curvy junky pieces
And for the
into
struts.
thirds for the little braces.